good morning. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, and we are officially India's #1 channel yet again. So on that note, thank you viewers for placing the faith on ET Now. It's a 46% share that we have right here on the channel. And once again, thank you for placing the trust for all the news, views, as well as stock market analysis right here on ET Now. Okay, well, of course, the top story that we are addressing right here on the channel is Jet Airways and the big clutter of news that's there. First up, ET Now learns that the Tata Group has once again evinced interest, but this time around it's only in jet slots, routes and parking slots, as well as landing rights. It may, in fact, initially offer to take over Jet's unutilized routes and slots in the larger consumer interest, citing surging airfares as a reason, and also then start with unutilized capacity. Nandara, I think the Tatas once again are trying to eye Jet's different assets.
ET Now exclusively learns from sources that the Tata Group is at an initial stage and is evaluating the possibility of taking over the bankrupt Jet Airways, parking slots, landing rights, as well as routes. I'd like to caveat this is all at an initial stage. It may fructify, it may not fructify. In the past, also, Tatas have been linked with Jet that never worked out. But the reason Jet is once again looking at the possibility and this piecemeal approach towards Jet is because just last week, Vistara got a permission from the government of India to fly overseas. That international permit came as recently as last week, and that's why that is why Tata Group is once again looking at all of this. ET Now learns about Tata Group's initial interest, I should add, on the same day that the government of India, via the aviation secretary, said there is a thought process of letting other airlines use unutilized capacity of Jet Airways, the fleet, the routes, the parking slots, the landing rights. So we are being told by our sources that the Tata Group decide to go ahead with this. Its first offer to the government and to the lenders of Jet could very well be to take over the unutilized capacity in larger public interest. We've all seen those airfare surge, skyrocket almost 100% year on year, 60% from last month, ever since Jet started grounding its flights. Then you've had the Boeing crisis, you've had the Indigo pilot shortage. So that could very well be cited. And this is in the realm of speculation. If the Tata Group is interested, why shouldn't other airlines be? This could also be an opportunity for Indigo as well as SpiceJet. Having said that, I did reach out to Tata Group for their comment, detailed questionnaire, and Tata Sons replied saying they do not, as a policy, comment on market speculation. But the big headline being that all of this, the Tata Group is basically at an initial stage for Vistara, looking at Jet's very lucrative routes, parking slots, landing rights. It has a lion's share in Delhi and Bombay Airport, even at London Heathrow. And you are allowed to actually trade slots in London Heathrow among airlines. That is being considered because Jet has that.
All right, Nayantara, thanks a lot for that. Well, we'll keep it with the aviation space and flag off a big mover today in trade, and that is SpiceJet. We had the monthly aviation data coming in, the market share data, the PLF data for the month of Feb, and it's good gains for SpiceJet. Feb's market share is at 13.7% versus 13.3% on a month-on-month basis, and the passenger load factor is at 94% versus 90.9% on a month-on-month basis. So that's stock number one right here on Market Fatafat. Like we say, it's all about individual movers and shakers, and we will kickstart the show with those. So SpiceJet is number one. Let me introduce then our team of research analysts as well as technical experts for the same. Kunal Bothra joins in, Soumya Sharma, and we also do have Swati Hodkar of Nirmal Bang. So thanks to all of you for joining in. Well, I flagged up SpiceJet as a number one stock, and see the way the stock is surging, more than 8% of gains. Kunal, another big index that's moving in how, and it's gone beyond 30,000, a very coveted level. Again, lifetime high, Nifty Bank. What would be your view?
So yes, Mubina, first time we've seen the index crossing that 30,000 mark, and it's a very good cycle. Over the last 3 weeks, 27, 26,500, 27,000 odd levels to almost 30,000 plus. But now in the process of this fast and furious rally, the index is now almost 3,000 points off, or above its 200-day moving average, which I believe is a substantial, in terms of points as well as in terms of percentages as well. Now, generally, when you see such a kind of a sharp and steep rally, you expect some sort of a mean reversion, but that should be short-lived. I believe Bank Nifty can correct over the next couple of days or maybe over the next 1 week. to come back to those mean of 29,500, 29,000 range. I believe that that could be a good amount of level where traders should look at building long positions once again, because this steep rally which you're seeing on Bank Nifty augurs very well from the medium to long term view.
Well, yeah, just when it hit that strong sentimental level of 30,000, we did see quite a drop come by in the Nifty Bank, but that was really what we saw in the rest of the markets as well. Swati, another stock that's really been rallying very, very smartly is Godrej Properties. It's another 3% uptick witnessed today.
Yes, Mubina, exactly. The stock is just rallying in a very good way. The weekly chart indicates that it has given a breakout of the inverse head and shoulder pattern. The neckline was coming at around 770. From the last 4 trading session, we have seen that the stock has almost given 140 points movement. As of now, we might see some profit booking at the higher levels. Immediately, the 850 is acting as a very strong resistance level. If it manages to give a breakout of that level, then definitely 890, 900 other levels are on the cards. Whereas the support is placed at the 820, so those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on with a profit trailing stop loss of 820 for an immediate target of 850 to 890 levels on the upside.
All right, so that's Godrej Properties, more than 3% of gain. Samia, a stock that's again seeing red on the screen is Jubilant Life.
Well, yes, the stock is under pressure as there has been updates on the US FDA inspection of the API facility. And this inspection of Mysore plant was from December 10 to 18 in 2018. Well, the company added that this announcement will not have any impact on the existing revenues from the operations of this facility, but the stock down.
All right. So that NTPC, we've been seeing some action in this stock of late. What are you observing today?
You know, a few trading sessions back, the stock went ex bonus with a ratio of 1:5. And then very next day, that's on Wednesday, we saw a sharp correction and there was accumulation of open interest. Today also we are seeing rise in open interest, but prices are higher, 3.5% up on, as we speak, it's at the highest point of the day, Mubina. Now you have to see from positional perspective, we are seeing a lot of price action from lower levels of sub 110, and this is ex-bonus price I'm talking about, to levels of 135, and there has been strong accumulation of open interest. And it's not just restricted to NTPC, there are a lot of other PSU names where we are seeing strong accumulation. So NTPC is in a strong uptrend, and the kind of accumulation that's happening, we might hear something from largest stakeholder, which is government, anytime soon when it comes to PSU space.
Okay, and it's at the day's high, by the way, as we speak, NTPC. Kunal, why do you have a buy on V-Guard Industries?
I believe, Mubina, that this is one stock which is forming a bullish flag or a pennant kind of a formation on the daily and the hourly charts. The stock is nearing a breakout. 222, 223 is the breakout zone. So it's just about 0.5% or 1% off from those breakout levels. And looking at the way the mid-cap universe is shaping up and the way they are positioned, many of these stocks which are on the verge of a breakout, they tend to give a strong breakout and result into a multi-week, multi-month rally as well. So V-Guard could be in line for that. I have a buy with a target of 230 plus and stop loss to be kept at 218.
Okay, well, moving on to the next stock, Kansai Nerolac is in focus. It's one of the big losers today in trade. It's, I suppose, the indirect effect of the falling auto sales is now going to be witnessed on Kansai Nerolac because auto OEMs form 45% of its revenue. So naturally, a slowdown in sales would lead to its revenues being at risk, and hence CLSA has downgraded it to a sell. They've also cut their estimates by 2 to 4% as they believe that the demand headwinds will be there for this paint company as auto sector is reeling under pressure. Of course, rising crude oil prices as well is something they have their focus on, but then the stronger rupee does help as well for the paint company, but 3% down for Kansai Nerolac. Another stock that's down is NMDC. However, it is going ex-dividend today, so that's one reason why it's fallen. But Swati, we had seen 21 days of a consecutive rise, and since the last 2 days, it's red on the screen.
Yes, rightly said, Rubina. From the 90 odd levels to 118, 120 odd levels, we have seen a continuous rally from last 15 to 20 trading sessions. Because of the ex-dividend news, today we have seen the majorly profit bookings at higher levels. Now 103 is acting as a very good support levels, which is provided by its 200-day moving average. So as long as it's straight above 103 levels, definitely this rally is likely to be continued. Again, going ahead, 114 will be the next immediate upside levels I am looking for. So at the current level, those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on for immediate target of 114 to 118 levels, whereas they can maintain the stop loss.
16चे सुद्धा चालतील.
Above the 200 EMA.
बोल.
On this one. Soumya, Lakshmi Vilas Bank has been in the news for some time now. What's the news today?
पण आपले इनोव्ह चालतील.
हो, इनोव्ह 16चे चालतील, ते जुने आहेत ना.
Hello, check, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, mic check.
All right, there's another PSU that's harsh flagging off after
check.
BPCL is about Coal India. However,
हेलो शिवम भाई, अपने पास 16 का कितना कार्ड है? पुराना वाला, हाँ.
Which you highlighted for NTPC, even this stock is
नहीं अभी 3 चाहिए. अभी इतना फुटेज. सर अभी देख के बता दो. अभी मुझे भी नहीं पता है कितना.
But why I am highlighting Coal India? Just like NTPC, there is huge accumulation in Coal India as well, and we are seeing, accumulation not just from long perspective, which is clear in NTPC. In Coal India, it's mixed. However, if you look at the charts, then stock is under a bit of selling pressure. But looking at the way things are panning out in PSU space, where there's a lot of buying interest coming from DIs. The way things are panning out in PSU space, where there's a lot of buying interest coming from DIs and institution at large, I think 215, 220 is good support for Coal India. So don't get carried away by today's negative news.
okay, well, we'll do one thing. We'll take a very short break right here on Market Fatafat. Come right back. The countdown will continue. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on 18 now. Let's continue then with the countdown of the big movers and shakers. Kunal, IDFC First Bank, what is it that's looking good to you on the charts over here?
So, this stock has broken a 12-month consolidation, and in the process of doing it, it's forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern. The breakout has been close to 50-51 levels. The stock is trading above those levels, but way the volumes have shaped up, the chart patterns on a longer-term basis, inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is generally a very strong reversal pattern. All of that indicates that the stock could be restarting a strong uptrend. So even if you're a short-term trader and looking for adding some bit of momentum on the stock, I believe IDFC First could rally till 55-56 levels. That should be a short-term target for the stock, and stop loss could be kept at 51.
Okay, so it's a buy on IDFC First. The stock price today is very active, 2% higher. Meantime, it's not just aviation that came out with their market share numbers, but even the TRAI data for the month of January. And Bharti Airtel, it seems, has managed to add a little over 1 lakh users versus a massive drop of 15 lakh active users that was witnessed in December. So quite a lot of momentum that Bharti Airtel has managed to gain. Of course, Jio does remain on the top. Retain its top spot in terms of number of users and number of users added rather. But Bharti Airtel too catching up over there, though with very, very minor gains. The stock price had opened with a lot of gains, almost 2% higher, but now it's more or less flattened out with, in fact, just a minor gain left on that stock price. Swati, REC, PFC, today REC is seeing some red on the screen. In fact, interestingly, they just got that approval as well to acquire shares of REC. PFC got that approval rather. What would you make of another 3% downtick here?
See, RECL, the price pattern is moving in the higher tops, higher bottom formation. The only concern is about the RSI. The daily chart indicates the negative divergence on the RSI. So it is a cautious point at the current point of time. So I believe those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on. But on a downside, 135, 138 is the quite good support levels. So they can keep a stop loss of 135 levels on the downside, and upside I believe once if it manages to give a breakout of a 145 levels, then definitely again we might see some rally of up to 150 to 155 levels. But I will suggest all the clients to maintain the strict stop loss for 135 because the RSI is showing a negative divergence on the daily chart, which indicates a cautious sign. So those who are looking for a buying position, they can just hold on. If any dips are coming towards to 125 to 120 level, then only one can look for the fresh buying positions.
Okay, so Swati is cautious on the way REC has moved off late. Soumya, what's the news on Bajaj Auto?
Well, in Bajaj Auto, PA is in talks with the company to for 48% stake in KTM. Well, at present, PA AG holds approximately 62% shares of KTM Industries AG. So the stock reacting to this news flow.
Okay, so news flow coming in for Bajaj Auto. Siddharth, ICICI Prudential, interestingly today we did have that Jefferies note where they had a buy stance on the stock, but we are nevertheless seeing the stock price fall about 2%.
Well, in fact, if you remember, Mubina, last month we were discussing that how most of the insurance companies are down and ICICI Pru Life was below its IPO price. From that time, when markets started moving up, even this stock went up and there was a nice uptrend which was visible. What has happened because of today's move is that uptrend is breached. We are seeing formation of short positions and volumes are high in both the segments. So these are negative observations when it comes to ICICI Pru Life.
I mean, CLSA actually that has a buy on ICICI Prudential. Okay, well, moving on, OMCs, again, movers. Kunal, your view on BPCL?
So, Mubina, many of these stocks, OMCs, they've seen very sharp rally. I think yesterday or rather on Wednesday, you saw many of the OMCs seeing the first round of profit booking, and surprisingly, they are seeing a follow through. Now, when you look at this in the context of what transpired in the last 3 weeks of that sharp rally, it indicates that these stocks may be going through a mean reversion process. So maybe as a short-term play, these stocks can drop off another 3 to 4% from their current price levels, but that should bring the stock back to its very strong support zone and should be a good counter-buying opportunity. So I think the traders should position themselves accordingly. If you're a buy, if you're looking at a long trade, then wait for another 3 to 5% correction and look to go long on BPCL, IOC as well as HPCL.
Okay, so while these names are some of the big losers on the Nifty, one big gainer on the Nifty is Indiabulls Housing Finance. And it's not just today, for the last couple of sessions, we have seen Indiabulls Housing Finance stay very, very steady. So mind you, in today's trading session, it's come off a tad bit from that high of 754. But mind you, it's not just Indiabulls Housing Finance. Even IB Ventures has actually been showing green on the screen for some time, though today IB Real Estate is not participating in this uptick. Nevertheless, Indiabulls Housing Finance is the top Nifty gainer. We'll wrap it up on this edition of Market Fatafat. Swati, thanks so much for joining in and sharing your technical strategies with our viewers. Soumya, Kunal, Siddharth to you as well. Coming up next is Markets at Noon.